What is up, Doinkers? My name is Sebastian. I'm here with Bridge.
What's up?
We are the founders of DoinkSports.com, and we are doing installment number 3 of Bet with the Founders. Now, today is Friday the 13th, the cursed day. So we are going to escape the curse and go with mathematically proven, statistically sound betting strategies today, and that's it. We're getting away from all hooks, all misses, everything. We're not leaving anything up to chance. So,
Locks only. Locks only.
locks only. So, we're going to start out with a super brief intro into something that we are really excited about at Doink, which is plus EV betting. Now, it's kind of a lesser known betting strategy. It's mathematically driven, and we're going to kind of dive into what it means right now. So, to illustrate how plus EV betting works, it's nice to look at a simple example of a coin flip. So, let's say you're betting on heads on a coin flip, on a 50-50, totally honest, even-weighted coin. There's 3 questions that really matter when you're making this bet. The first is, what is the expected value of heads? What is the break-even return based on the EV, the expected value? And the last and most important question is, when do you actually want to take a bet? So first, the easy one, what is the expected value of heads? With a fair coin, it's 50-50 chance of landing either heads or tails. So that means if you were to do 1,000 flips, you're going to expect to get about 500 heads and about 500 tails. Now, based on the expected value of 500 heads for 1,000 flips, what's the break-even return? So the goal here is to not lose money. We're trying to break even. We're not concerned about winning at the moment. We're just concerned about how do I bet but not lose money. So in the rules of this betting game, we're going to do 1,000 flips, and you're going to bet at $10 per flip. So you start with a bankroll of about $10,000. Now, based on the expected value that I shared on the previous slide, out of the 1,000 flips, you're going to lose 500, but you're also going to win 500. Now, what we need to figure out here is what return do we need to get on each of our wins so that we end with $10,000. We started with $10,000. What return do we need to get to finish with $10,000 to break even, to not lose money? That's what we're trying to figure out. And so if you do some algebra, it turns out that the return we need to get on each of our wins is a 2 times return. So running through this equation really quick, all the $10 that we bet on the 500 tails, we lose. We get 0 return. So that means each time that we bet $10 on heads, we need to double our money. So 500 times 10 times 2, that equals $10,000. So as long as we're getting a 2 times rate of return for each of the bets that we win, we're going to break even. We're not going to lose money. So the most important question is, when do we actually take a bet? And using the EV and our break-even rate of return, we only want to take a bet when the offered rate of return is greater than or equal to the break-even for the EV, for the expected value of the outcome that you're betting on. So to illustrate this example even further, the same setup as before, we're doing 1,000 flips. 500 flips are going to be heads, 500 flips are going to be tails. We're going to lose half of them. But as long as we're making at least 2 times our money on each of the bets that we win, we're going to end up positive. So in this example, we're getting a 2.1 rate of return for each of our wins. And because it's above the expected value of 50%, and our break-even percentage, or our break-even rate of return on that 50% EV is 2.0, if we get offered anything above, in this case 2.1, then we're making money all day long. Conversely, if we get offered a rate of return that's less than our break-even rate of return given by the EV, then we're going to lose money. If we get offered 1.9 times our money for each of our wins, that's less than the 2.0 break-even rate of return that we need to not lose money. So in this case, we're going to lose $500. So to summarize, plus EV betting is looking for bets where the offered rate of return is greater than or equal to the break-even rate of return given by the EV. That's it. This is pretty dumbed down. It's a lot more complex than that, but this is the type of bets that we're looking for. You have anything to add, Bridge?
No, I think that was really good. So, the next step here is Seb just gave us a really good summary of what is EV, and what does it mean to actually break even. Now we're going to look at what Doink Sports will do for you. And we have a plus EV tool that will find the break even percentage of a bet, the true probability of something to happen, and find prices that break that probability even. So on Doink Sports here, we can go to our plus EV tool, and the first thing you're going to see is just a list. Let me zoom in a little bit of bets, and you're going to see this plus EV, this EV column. So 4.7% on Mark Andrews receptions. Okay. So just a quick overview of what this page means. You have your EV. If that's positive, it means you're breaking even on the bet. And then you have the event and what you're betting on. So here, Mark Andrews receptions. We're going to go over 3.5. And this is key right here, these fair odds. So what Doink does is it determines the true odds of something to happen based on what the market looks like and what these sharp sports books are pricing an event at. So Pinnacle, Bet Online, and Bovada are sharp sports books, and they're pricing this at around minus 130. But on FanDuel, we're getting minus 106. That's a much better price. So when there's a little bit of math that goes into this to remove the VIG, which is the hold that sports books will add to guarantee themselves money. So when you remove the VIG on this about minus 130, we get a fair odds of minus 116. And FanDuel is offering us minus 106 on the bet. So boom, that's a 4.7% EV. And we're going to do, a series of videos to explain how this tool works. For example, I can customize how my EV is calculated with this weighting tab. So, everybody in the industry says that Pinnacle is the gold standard, and that is definitely true for your main lines, which are your over-unders, spreads, money lines. So you can basically compare any price to Pinnacle's price, and if it's a lot better, then you could call it plus EV for these lines. But you can get into your own styles of weightings. Maybe you see, Bet Online is really sharp with WNBA player props, and I want to treat them as the gold standard source of truth for the price and the probability of something to happen. You could, get into building your own weightings, but we're not going to cover that this video. We're just going to use Doink's default settings for plus EV. And now let's actually start to make some bets. So a strategy I really like to use here is starting on our plus EV page, sifting through, okay, these are a good suite of bets that are plus EV. And now what do we really like out of those bets? You can also deploy your own betting strategies on top of plus EV to make sure you're in good spots. Right away, I don't think I'm going to love this Mark Andrews bet, because if you watch the last game, Isaiah Likely was the lion's share tight end receiver on the Ravens. So it's good EV, but I think I'd like to find a better spot. And this one looks a lot more attractive, which is Amon-Ra over 6.5 receptions. Again, we're getting minus 140 on FanDuel, and our fair odds are minus 155. That's a 4.2% EV. So, now we go into actually diving into some data and looking at how often does Amon-Ra get over 6.5 receptions. Well, let's look at his last 10. He's at 60%. Last season, 63%. And at home, 78%. Let's see, has he played Tampa Bay? Yes. Last season, he played Tampa Bay, and he got 8 receptions. I mean, all of the indicators are pointing towards Amon-Ra going over. And you can look at this markets graph, and this blue line right here, that's FanDuel's pricing. Wow, this orange line is Pinnacle. So the market is trending up, and it's actually pretty time sensitive because this is going to get more expensive on FanDuel. So right away, I'm just going to try to take this bet. So you have to remember the price that you want it. Is minus 140. I actually really love this at this price. I'm just going to throw 2 units on it. Over 6.5 receptions. Amon-Ra had, a down game. He had an anomaly, honestly, with only 3 catches for 13 yards. Fantasy owners were in shambles. But that's just a really good regression spot. we're getting EV. I love that bet. That's my favorite bet I've placed this weekend so far. All right. Taking a look, I mean, I really like looking at these main lines too. You know, it's just really simple. We're saying Pinnacle is pricing the over 48.5 in Raiders Ravens at plus 213. FanDuel is giving us plus 240. Now, this is a pretty high over under. You know, I'd like to stay more in the range of, let's call it max plus 150. Oh, and min minus 150. Here we go. These are really, you know, closer to even money spots that if you're going to price against FanDuel, it's just really simple. So our over under here, 45 for Eagles Falcons. Pinnacle's giving us minus 159. Rivers is giving us minus 143. We devig that to get our fair odds of minus 146.5. That's a 1% EV. You know, slight edge. Now, how does it look? Eagles games have been going over, you know, 6 of the last 10. Their one game this season in Brazil against the Packers went 63. And then there was the Falcons-Steelers game. Note, in that Falcons-Steelers game, the Steelers didn't score a single touchdown, and they still won. That's, you know, that doesn't happen very often. This game, the Steelers easily could have scored 3 touchdowns there to take this over 45. Let's see any head-to-heads. Okay, 2021. Wow, they haven't played in a while. Let's see. Our over-under is 45. Let's see. Games where the over-under was more than 45. Wow, so they don't play many, you know, predictive high-scoring games. This is just going to be the Birds scoring a ton of touchdowns. I still like it. And what I do like is look how Rivers is lagging down here. You know, you could look at this as a stock market graph. And wow, the price on Rivers is just so much lower than, look at that Bovada at minus 170. These sharper books are already climbing up. What do you think about that spot, Seb?
I like it. The math is there. The graph looks good. You know, there's not too much history to go off of, but again, the math is math, so I like it.
Math is math. All right. I trust the math. Oops, I accidentally set my state to Michigan. Let's go New York.
And while he's placing this bet, guys, one thing to reiterate from the coin flip example is losing bets is part of the plus EV strategy. You know, in the example where we were break even or even profitable, we were still losing half of the bets that we were making on each coin flip. But if you, again, find positive EV bets based on the expected value and the break-even rate of return, over time, with enough betting volume, you will be profitable.
Yeah, so Rivers isn't letting me place online. I'm going to place this on my phone right now, and we'll paste the results in the video. Okay, so we got a good couple plus EV bets in. Now I just want to show you the results of this. So I've been following this EV strategy for almost 3 months now. You know, I'm up a decent chunk of money. That's a 43% ROI. But looking at the Pickett Pro expected value, which is a really cool feature, you should check it out. They will calculate, okay, what is the closing line value of your bet? So I place a bet at minus 110, and then at close, if it's at minus 140, that means I beat the closing line because I got it at a cheaper price. So I've placed, you know, almost 70 plus EV bets, and I'm at a 2% expected value. Just like Seb said, you know, you're going to lose some of these bets. If you scroll through, you'll see some red, but as you place more and more, in the long run, you're going to be growing closer to that break-even percentage in the end. And yeah, I think this was a pretty good overview of our plus EV. Let us know in the comments if you would like to see more walkthroughs with the weightings here. You can get into some really cool things with custom weightings. We also offer arbitrage which is just literal guaranteed free money bets due to the pricing discrepancies across books. And as always, we love to dive in and look at supporting data too, because you could blindly place these things, but why not just double check yourself, look at the Doink breakdowns, see, oh, he's hot, oh, he's not, oh, he's playing a really good defense, the defense is really soft. Just get the whole context. You can even go, oh, what's the weather? We're in Jacksonville, light showers, 83 degrees. What's the coach's coin toss decisions? Doug Peterson rarely takes the ball. He likes to kick. All of these things go into profitable betting, and Doink Sports is built to give you all the context you need to win.
Hell yeah. All right, Doinkers, this has been Bet with the Founders installment number 3. Let us know how you liked the video. We're going to be doing a lot more of these coming up soon. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Peace.